Hi, this is comedian and supermodel Joel Creasy.
What's up, y'all? I'm Al Jackson.
Oh, hey, it's your best friend Simon Taylor.
Hey, this is Brett Blake.
Hi, I'm Isabel Angus. Hey, this is Redown.
Hey, this is Blake Freeman.
Hey, this is Nick Cap.
What's up? This is Kyle Kinane.
Hi, this is Joseph Green.
Hey, this is Izzy Ali.
Hi, I'm Luca Muller.
Hi, this is Michael Schaefer.
Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Knox.
Hey, this is Stuart Dolman.
Hey, this is Rob Carolina.
This is Shane Moss.
You're listening to the one and only Laugh Out Proud with the homies Z and G
On Joy 94.9.
Hi, I'm Brian Shellmon. Hi, I'm Brian Shell... There you go, one more time. Hi, I'm Ryan Shell... I always get this wrong. Hi, I'm Ryan Shelton. You're listening to Laugh Out Proud with Z&G on Joy 94.9.
We have a very, very special guest.
Very special guest.
In the studio. Now, you know Laugh Out Proud is, of course, Comedy Festival.
It is, big time of the year.
And we are saving the best for last. Mm-hmm. Of course we are, that's right. And you know him from Undateable. You know him from his special Giggle Fit. You know him from the movie Get Hard. That's right. It is, in fact, Ron Funches.
That's me.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Man,
Thank you so much for coming in.
You guys have such a great rapport. It's so fun.
I appreciate that.
It's really just boom, boom, boom. I love it.
We're doing it for a while. We have been doing
I
it for
can
a while.
tell. Yeah. It's like you guys are like a Sorkin script. You just back and forth,
That's
back
awesome.
and forth.
We have to call Aaron later. We'll have to call him.
That's going on the website. I love that.
So is it your first time in Australia?
It is.
How many? Okay, wait. You're doing promo day today, so that you're getting a lot of that, right?
Yes.
Yes, you're getting. Okay, so what's the number one question for? It's your first time in Australia coming in.
The number one question is, how are you going to change your act and to make it suitable for Australians and their references?
Right.
And I'm like, how would I know? I haven't been there. I don't know. I'm going to tell a joke, and then when I can tell by the look in their faces that they don't know what the hell I'm talking about, then I'll adjust.
But I saw you on Joe Rogan podcast, and he said the exact. He said, well, we just get the exact same references pretty much, unless it's like, going down to Whole Foods or something. I'm pretty sure we would get that. Anyway.
Like, we understand supermarkets. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
We understand supermarkets.
Yeah, just say I was at the Woolworth.
Hey, you got it already.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Hey, I stopped over at the Big W.
Nailing them. Ticking them off.
You got it.
It was a mess down there. It's all higgledy-piggledy.
And that is Big W.
Yeah, that is exactly Big
We'll just
W.
name drop them more.
Yeah, whatever. What is the, like, was that a quick Google? Or was that like...
I just walked into one.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, okay, I get this.
So when did you get into stand-up?
I got to stand up, as a fan, like my whole life, really.
Right.
5 years old, probably.
Wow.
My mom would take us to back when we had video stores. And
Blockbuster.
Yeah, and my sister would pick one out, I'd pick one out, she'd pick one out, and I'd always get some, like, old wrestling event or...
Oh, right on.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the Rumble's a good
yeah,
go-to.
the Rumbles. Or a lot of times it was a way I could watch the WCW events I'd never seen
Right.
before.
To get in Super Bowl.
Yeah,
You have to get it
exactly.
in.
Things like, who's fun? Oh, Sting is a fun guy. So,
He was a surfer? What?
yeah, so you get to know new things. And then my mom would often get like, she'd watch a lot of Chris Rock or
Right.
Richard Pryor or whatever, and that kind of informed me in comedy. And Lucille Ball, watching a lot of I Love Lucy was probably my biggest influence in comedy.
So so would you say then your comedy heroes are Richie Pryor,
No.
Chris Rock? No.
Definitely not. Those are just kind of my introductions to it,
Right.
but it wasn't a thing where I felt like I could do it because those were different types of people. They were very arrogant, very not full of themselves, very confident, I guess is the word I'm looking for exactly. And I didn't really, I didn't feel that way.
Right.
So I never really felt like a kinship to them. It was more people like Dave Chappelle and
Nice.
Mitch Hedberg, where I was
Nice.
like, oh, this is a guy who like looks down at the ground the whole time and is scared and wears sunglasses. I get this.
So then, what age were you when you were like, hey, let's try it out? Because was it something that you had been thinking about doing?
Yeah, definitely. It was something. It was it's always the thing when I tell people now, because when I have my podcast called Getting Better, where we just talk about getting better at life, and one of the things I talk about is that it takes sometimes so long to get started, and I don't feel bad about how long it took me to start, but I tell anyone, like, if you're really feeling like you want to do something, the hardest thing to do is start, so just start. And I wanted to do comedy forever, but it took until my son was born when I was 20, and then he had diagnosed with autism when he was 23, and I was like, I need to find a career, and I need to find something that I really actually care about that I want to do.
That's important.
Something I could start at the beginning and do for 20 years. And comedy, it was like, I can be a comedian or a pro wrestler, and I'm not athletic. So I'm gonna.
But the dream's still there at the back of the mind, right?
Yeah, I went to wrestling school. Yeah,
how was that?
It was hard. It was not. It was fun and good sportsmanship. And I shook a lot of people's hands, and that was fun. But also, I had to do a lot of squats, and I threw up a few times.
No.
It's not fun. One day I had to do like 300 squats. Once.
Jesus. That's nuts. That's
It's
nuts.
horrible. And they didn't say, hey, we're doing 300 squats. They were like, let's do 50. And then they were like, you guys aren't together enough. Another 50. And then another 50. And then another 50. Until we did 300 squats. And it's horrible.
You just walk out at a certain point.
Well, at some point, they just stop being squats. They're just like me slightly moving
Just a
up
pelvic
and down.
movement.
Yeah.
So what? So you got into comedy in 23 then?
Yeah, 23
So
years old.
where were you in the US?
In Portland, Oregon.
Portland, right? Okay. So what year we talking there?
What year will we be talking about? Okay. So my son was born 2003.
Right.
So then he was 2006.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was the comedy scene like in Portland at that? In 06?
Infantile. It was
Really?
very new.
Right.
It's very wild west, as I
Really?
would put it. Not really any blueprint as far as how to succeed. There was a era of comedians before us who kind of did some things. I think the most famous of our comedians at that time were Susan Rice and Dwight Slade, who was Bill Hicks' best friend and would work with him a lot. But it was all about do these shows in Idaho and Montana and all these things that I didn't really particularly want to do, because you had to pander or you had to do type of racial humor or things that I didn't really enjoy. So I was kind of okay, well, that's not for me. I'll just write my jokes and I'll be around Portland, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so it was it was really the best for me, because I didn't have okay, I have to do this in order to succeed. It was really okay, what makes me laugh? And I'm going to do that.
Awesome.
And that was the first 2 or 3 years of my comedy, and we ended up getting a nice festival called the Bridgetown Festival, and then we had a nice club called Helium that moved in, and that kind of elevated things in Portland, and really helped me, because as I was growing, the scene was growing, and it was introducing me to a lot of my comedic heroes, and I was opening for people like Mulaney or Nick Kroll, and that's what introduced me to them. And then they started taking me out on the road. Mulaney took me out nationally. It was my first time going out to do that, and that really informed a lot of seeing him, how he wrote and how he dressed and how he really took everything very seriously. Really informed how I come at this job.
What was it like going on tour with Mulaney?
It's wonderful.
He doesn't seem like a wild guy.
Neither one of us. It was great. We just sit around, make fun of other comedians. It was fun. A lot of fun. That's what was the best, is that, and he was really, started to like him, is that I felt open to we would make fun of legends, and that where we'd watch Eddie Murphy's Raw, and we'd be like, man, this just doesn't work now. This is so homophobic, and so the thing, and what does it say about you that you're the one sitting around coming up with these ideas all day? And it's all these things, and I was like, oh, cool, you're cool with making fun of that, and then I wanted to show him just this local Portland comic that he had no idea. But I was like, trust me, this is so stupid. You'll love it. And he showed it, and he loved it. And I was like, oh, we're fun. This is fun. You just talking trash, and you love comedy. And he's from Chicago too, so we just got along a lot that way. And,
So what? So how long did you stay out in Portland then?
I was in Portland up until I've been in LA now for coming up to 7 years. So yeah.
So what was the decision to go to LA then?
A lot of things. I was getting divorced. I was I
Right.
was married, so I needed a new place
Get
to
out of the
live,
state.
no
Get out of
matter what. So and I had already done Conan and had some success.
Right, so you-
nationally.
So you already did Conan when you were in Portland?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. So what was that like? Being on Conan, like.
That was a very big lesson as far as like there's always the next day. And there's
Right.
there's always a mic to go to. 'Cause,
Yeah, yeah.
like I was that was my big goal,
Right,
Get
right.
on Conan. I love the Conan, like just one of my biggest comedic heroes. And I was like, okay, when this happens, that means someone's going to want me to get on TV show, or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And I just went there, and I spent more money getting my ex-wife and my son and us there than I made on the show. And then I had to go back to Portland and just do an open mic at a empty show the next weekend. You know? And
Real humbling.
yeah,
Grind.
yeah.
All right.
Going like, "Do you guys see me? Did you see me?"
What was it like with Conan though? What's he like as a person?
Oh,
You
he's
get
the
insight
coolest.
in that.
Yeah, he's the best. He's really
Because the character he portrays is, I'm awesome.
Yeah,
I'm the
he
best.
is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, no, I agree. He is the best. I love Conan.
He's just very smart and very nice, but also like he's a real comedian. Very needy, very like just helpful. Like went on tour with him and
You went on tour with him? Wow.
Yeah. This last winter I did
Oh, wow.
like 10 or 12 cities with him, and
That's amazing.
it was really, really fun because I get to see him just interact one-on-one with people,
Right.
and see him like it's got to me it'd be so draining, but like he's like as if you were a guest on his show is how he interacts with like everyone.
Really? Oh, that's
So
good to
he's
know.
asking questions,
That's
and
cool.
he's talking to people, and he's being nice to people. These things where I know I'm like if you give me 2 days of that, I'd be like, leave me alone. You know? But he's just so sweet in that way, and really like loves comedy. And I just thought with the tour he was doing, he brought a lot of young comics and a lot of people like. It's just cool to see someone be like, look, I've made it to the pinnacle as far as what my job is, and the best thing I can do now is help the type of comedy I want to see.
That's awesome.
And that's a lesson that I'm nowhere near that, but like even now, like if I'm traveling on the road, I try to make sure I take my friends with me, and just help out not even just my friends, but help out the type of comedy I want to see.
Right on. Did you bring opener for?
No, that's too expensive.
Fair enough. So what? When did you say you came into LA again? Sorry.
It was about 7 years ago.
7 years ago. So
Yeah.
what was it like hitting LA, coming from the Portland comedy scene, coming into the,
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Scary. You
Right.
know, not knowing if I was just like big fish, small pond.
Yeah, right.
Or if I could really hang with people. And a lot of the first few months were me doing the same set that I knew was good over and over and
okay,
over.
right.
And,
Yeah, right.
And then I found that that was a dead end because I had no other ammo coming up.
Right,
So
right.
I had to learn to just not be afraid to bomb out in LA, and not be afraid of agents and stuff. And now it's the best. I love performing at the Comedy Store because like there'll be these nights. Just the other night I had to follow Sebastian Maniscalco, who's
Wow.
amazing, and Ron White right after that, who is a legend. So
Yeah.
like I mean two legends if you ask me, but I'm sure everyone would say Ron White's a legend, and so like for me to go out and follow that and
Right,
just
yeah.
do it and just be like, okay, yeah, this is my job, and address it and go like, hey guys, so great to see those guys. I know you don't know me, but trust me, they put me out here for a reason because they know I could follow that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so
That's it.
you guys are about to see that. And then and it made it, and it just gives me more confidence that way of like this is just what I do.
Right,
Right. And so I just try to do that. And same thing like coming here when people are like, what are you gonna do with your set? I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, this is what I do. So if people aren't enjoying it, I'll adjust. I have enough material, and I can just work on things that I've been working on and just talk about. To me, there's so much comedy in just the fact that like I haven't been here and I don't know, and to me, there is that comedy, and like, okay, if you don't get this, I can just make fun of that. I can designate a person like you're my Australian person. You tell me when you don't get what I'm doing. So there's just a lot of, to me, there's more fun, and I get to just think about whatever and problem solve, which is the best part of comedy.
So when you went to LA, did you hit up the Comedy Store immediately,
No.
or you just
No,
went
I was
around?
afraid of it because
Yeah?
it's scary.
Yeah.
And a lot of bad energy, a lot of negative people there.
Right.
But it's kind of changed. They've really changed the type of acts that they're booking.
Right.
They're booking a lot more women, booking a lot more just younger acts.
Right.
And people with that's what I really like now. It's like an all-star game of like you can see everyone of every style, and like you see like a Joe Rogan or Morgan Murphy or Moshe Kasher or someone who I really like, just in like a Nicole Schreiber, who's like a younger comic, but she's really like just good in her own unique style, and that's what I like about the store, is that it's not usually about how famous you are. It's just like, are you a unique voice? And if you are, then we'll book you. And I think like Brody Stevens was like the biggest example of that.
Yeah, exactly. What's okay? So when did you get Undateable? When?
That was like I think a year and a half, 2 years after I moved to LA.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, a little bit. I think a little bit after a year. That was kind of my introduction to the Comedy Store, was because that was the first time I met D'Elia and Brent Morin. And,
you didn't know them before?
No, I didn't know them at all. I heard of them. I think I met Chris once, and it was a horrible
Oh, really?
thing. Because I was.
What did you do, Ron? What did you do?
Oh yeah, put it on me. Of the two of us, who is more likely to have done something?
True.
But neither one of us, actually. It was just I did a show at the Improv, and he was the headliner there, and he was running around and had to go do another show at the store, and so they were like, okay, we got to move him up quicker, and they push him up, and then the sound guy, all he knows is Chris is the headliner. Right. So when Chris goes off, he's like, thanks for coming out, guys. Great show tonight. And I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I just won't do my set. That's fine. That's fine. I don't care. Yeah. And everybody's filing out. The lights are up. And then they go, oh, wait a minute. What? We got a special guest. So now people are like, whoa, it must be freaking Chris Rock. Richard Pryor must have got out of the grave. It must be. They are restarting the show for whoever this is. And then they're like, from Portland, Oregon. Ron Funches. And I just proceeded to have the most. People were like, yeah, I should go back to leaving.
Did anyone sit down?
Some people sat down, and I was good at acknowledging it and being like, I was like, guys, I think the show should have just ended. Like, it's okay, and they liked that. But once I got into my jokes, they didn't care anymore.
Yeah, right. What a heartbreaking.
What was it like getting when you first got on Dateable and you're just getting NBC money? Like, what's that like being on a network television show?
It's confusing because you think you have more money than you have.
Right, really.
And then you learn tax-wise that you don't.
Right, of course.
So you really got to learn. I had to learn very quickly because the first few weeks I'm like, okay, like shoes, I buy a bunch of shoes every day on set. You got all this downtime. So I'm like, okay, I'm buying shoes almost every day on set. And then I learned that was a bad decision. It's cool. It's fun. It was a fun job. It was one of the most special jobs I had because they really trusted us comedically to come up with our own material. And like there'll be scripts that literally would just say like, Chris comes up with joke here. Or
really?
Ron
that
does,
much freedom? Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have not had anything like that since. So it was kind of like, I thought that's how it was. And I go on these other shows and I'm like, here's the joke. And they're like, could you stick to the script? But it was, I still talk to all those guys to this day. Still keep in touch with Bill Lawrence. Like anytime I have a script or advice that I need, I go to him because I really trust him. And
He'll give you notes and
Yeah,
nice.
absolutely. Yeah. And when you got a guy who's done so many things, it's like, yeah, I will take your advice at any time. So, great, and a lot of great friendships. Still really really close to Chris and Brent and Rick and most of the people on the show.
We forgot to ask Brent when he was on the on our show here, and I didn't realize he had that much of a singing voice. Is that him? Did he have to train for the show? Did he?
No,
wait, he already could sing.
He could already sing.
Wow,
yeah.
song and dance man.
I know.
That's
I
amazing.
hate it.
Triple threat.
And it's like, ugh. Why don't you just do one? Why you gotta have everything? Why you gotta be so sweet, charming? It's not fair. It's not fair. But you know what? He drinks a lot.
It balances out.
It balances out. Yeah. He's wasting his talent. That's the worst part is he'll never hear this.
We'll tweet at him later.
Please, 'cause I don't want him to think I'm talking behind his back.
What was it? Was it like getting to write on, say, the Kroll Show?
Oh, it's amazing.
And Eric Andre's show as well. Like, what was it? What was the writers' room like? To just writing for them, with them.
Well, I mean, both are different. Eric Andre's show was more. I mean, shows I think kind of take on the attitude of the people who star in them or create them, and Eric is a more of a wild guy, so the writers' room was a little more wild, watching a lot of YouTube videos of people dying. I didn't like that, which was not my thing.
All right, okay.
Okay,
Writers' room, man, good start to the morning.
Pretty loose.
Very loose, very low key, and he's very smart as far as no ego. Like he just wants the best ideas. He would bring in literally just the best comedians. Like would just drop in for a day. Like see Mel come in or just I don't want to just name drop, but anybody would just come in and so I learned a lot that way of being like okay, cool. It takes a real it does take a village to do this, and you need to turn to your friends when you have things like this. And with Kroll Show, I learned so much. Just as far as dealing with network executives and
how are the notes?
Notes, sticking to your vision,
and
seeing how you have to. If you're gonna make a show, it better be something that you really love because you're gonna have to fight for it just about every single day.
Right.
And I just remember specifically them fighting so hard for publicity, like them getting these network notes that literally were like, we want more Ref Jeff, less publicity. You look gay, and it's just like what?
From a network executive.
I don't think it was from the executive. I think that's what they were doing these tests. These random things from some people who have no idea about what they're seeing, and it's just like, what are you talking about? People love publicity. And I remember I went out and did my own shows in Alabama a couple of weeks later, and this dude was just like, what do you do? And I was like, and I was proud, so I was like, I write for the Kroll Show. And he just goes, oh, you know what, man? I love that publicity. And publicity goes to be the most well-known sketch for it. And Jenny Slate, who is just amazing. To me, I put that show up with any sketch show, that's Mr. Show or Whitest Kids or whatever. To me, it's one of the best sketch shows of all time. And so the fact that I got to write a little bit on it and help a little bit is one of my biggest accomplishments. And I got to be around so many people who are now kind of like the elite in comedy, people like Jason Matsunukas, people like Jenny Slate, people like Chelsea Peretti, who are all on this show. And so I got the best, and it was my first writing job. So to me, it was the best introduction to what comedy could be and what you could do and how hard you had to fight for it and how executives can be really, really wrong.
What was it like, Eric Andre's show is 10-minute episodes as opposed to 22-minute episodes. What was it like scripting those and writing that out?
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Is it literally just you can pump out twice as much? Is that
pretty much? It's a little more condensed with his shows, so sometimes it's not exactly 2 for 1. But the shows with Eric Andre, again, very loose, just let's just write how I could destroy the desk. And that's how we're going to spend all day, just coming up with different desk ideas. Kroll Show was kind of the same routine every day. You would spend the first hour the day just pitching general ideas, and then if they liked those ideas, they would put them up on a board, and then you kind of would go off and split up into partners.
Right.
And then you and that partner would try to bang out, you would need to bang out a rough draft of that whole sketch that day.
Right. Wow. Okay. Well, while we write our own sketch, we'll be listening to this song.
Oh, I can't wait.
Laugh Out Proud. With ZG. On Joy 94.9.
We are still here with Ron Funches.
Wow. So what? Get Hard. That just out of the ball pit. That's the title already. If people don't know, that's a great film with Kevin Hart.
Not an instruction.
No, yeah.
It
Not
is
just
a
starting a
title,
non sequitur there. What was it like? Because that character off the bat, I was surprised when I saw you in that. Because that character is just like playing a hardened gangster, and I know you. Your comedy style is not that at all.
Yeah.
So it was
Acting!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what was that, getting that character, what was it like being on set?
It was cool. I mean, again, it was one of the first things I had done, especially on a movie. And to your point, it's kind of something I stay away from now,
Right.
Because I found that was the general role for me. When they didn't know me and they didn't know my voice, they just sent me out for a gang member,
Really?
or,
Okay.
or a tough guy, and I'm like, I'm not this guy.
Yeah.
As soon as you hear my voice, as soon as you smile, I'm dead in the room. You're not gonna give me this part. So. What was lucky is that this was a comedy, and it was kind of fun, and the whole thing was him being like, they just let me ad-lib things like, oh, I love murder, they just kind of made it real fun. Of like, this is like a sweet guy who just grew up in this bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, and if he didn't grow up in this neighborhood, you could see him just as easily being an accountant or something else. He just grew up in it. The family business here is gangs.
Yeah.
So that's what he did. But it's very similar. I met the wardrobe lady, and we got to talking, and on the first day of set, and she just goes, don't take any offense, but I just don't see you as a gang member. And I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not a gang member. But it was really fun. Will Ferrell was he's one of my comedic heroes, and so working with him, and anytime that I ad-lib something that actually made him laugh was just like, okay, I'm funny. I'm making Will Ferrell laugh, and, and Kevin Hart, he's just like, I'm a fan of his as well, but I didn't grow up loving him as much as I did Will Ferrell, you know? But just seeing how hard he works and how funny he was off the cuff, I think when I go back and now, because this is my first time here, a lot of people are asking me these questions about you did all these things, and I go, oh man, I've been very lucky about the I'm not like the biggest name by far, but as my education in comedy has been top notch. I've been able to really work with some of the best people and learn from them, and I really am very appreciative of it.
Now, getting into your own comedy, your own writing style, how are you in developing comedy itself? Like, are you more of a notes kind of guy? Are you typing away on the iPhone? Are you like getting up and working it on stage?
It's all a mix, really. Like I always say, I'm like a fisherman, not a hunter.
Right.
I think some people hunt for jokes and they're constantly typing and things. And sometimes you have to do, I'm kind of in that mode a little bit now, just because I had to dump my material and start really again. But for the most part, I like to just fish and be like, okay, oh, that's funny. Yeah, let me put that away. You know? Just make sure I catch it. That's the hardest part, is just making sure I catch it and make sure that I stay actively on stage, so it gives me a reason to want to write. But I've never been a guy who sits in a coffee shop for 2 hours coming up with things. I've never done that. I kind of come up with little ideas. I'll do little two-word notes, and then kind of go off on these ideas. And then when someone laughs, I go, okay, there's a punchline.
There it is.
Yeah,
Save that one.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll never write out, you'll never have notebooks of your entire set.
No, I mean, when I first started, I'd had these full scripts,
Right.
but then I couldn't really deviate. I couldn't be in the moment.
Explore,
Yeah. So I found it to be more restrictive.
So at what point were you able to move away from the solid just script.
Probably about 3-4 years.
Right.
Maybe 5. Probably when I started headlining, about 5 years in.
Right,
maybe.
right.
That was the first, because I just didn't have enough material. So
okay.
it's not like I could be like, well, this is exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
because I knew when I was first starting out doing colleges, I'd be like, okay, well, I have 30. And then we'll just have to juggle. We'll just have to figure it out. And it sucked, but it gave me the experience, and now I have to do that all the time.
Right,
you know, because that's the job, and people don't want to hear you doing the same jokes you did 3-4 years ago. So you got to learn to just like, okay, we do a little topical here, we do a little thing, and we try to turn those topical things into evergreen things, because I don't like topical. You know, you watch these specials, and if they do topical things because they've been sitting for like 5-6 months, they just they don't work.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
I just like doing things, relationships, my son, like, you know, life, you know, things that can be evergreen, so they can come out at any time and hopefully sound fresh.
What was it like doing colleges? Because I know comics are split on that.
I don't think comics are split on that. I don't think the comics are split on that at all. I think it sucks. And part of the job, you're babysitting a bunch of kids.
Right,
like, what do you want? Your job at that point is to stop a bunch of kids from going and getting drunk and having sex. They aren't there to watch you. They aren't, you know.
Yeah, right, yeah.
They're there to not get in trouble. Like, so, like, it's not a club. It's just a show. It's just I'm stealing tuition money. That's all I'm doing. So if you're gonna give me a place to go practice and not low stakes, because I don't care if I bomb at a club, the person who booked me is graduating. So they won't even be there. The same college will book me in a few more years, so who cares? But so everybody knows colleges. You do colleges because they pay you more money than a regular gig, and you know going into it. Like, how were you when you were 18, 19, 20? Were you a fool? Like, I'm gonna go laugh at stuff, or would you be like, okay, is my friend laughing? Then I can laugh. You know?
Yeah.
And that's how people are when they're in college and high school. And I don't blame you for that. Like, that's how I was. You were a child. So I don't expect you to like my material about mortgages. The new, because this current tour different from Giggle Fit? Yeah.
New hour.
Yeah, no, don't say new hour.
Half and half, juggle.
New material, mix and match.
Yeah.
Me here in Australia will definitely be, picking some things that, because it's my first time here, I'll be like, here's some of my greatest things that are still fresh that I like, but then also here's some things I've been working on. Here's things that I've just been doing in Australia. Here's things that have been working in America. But people know a lot about LeBron James here because I have a whole bit about my mom wanting to have sex with LeBron James. I don't know if that'll work.
It should work.
Okay,
It should work. Yeah.
Nice. That's international.
Now it's a whole new hour. Now it's a whole new hour.
But that's my plan is like from this tour in Australia, and also I'm going out in the States in summer, that I'm hoping by the end of the year I'll have a whole new hour.
Wow. Nice.
But we'll see. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going, people new hour every year, but only Louis C.K. could do that, and then we found out how he was able to do it. I'm not willing to do that.
So Giggle Fit came out on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
So what was the decision there between not doing Netflix? Because everyone's doing Netflix now.
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to give me an hour, so it wasn't hard. It wasn't a hard decision. It was who wants to give me an hour. Right. I want to do an hour. I've never done an hour. I grew up loving hours, and those are the things that were, to me, that were your mark of like, hey, I'm here in comedy, and I'm providing something now, and so I'm putting out an hour of comedy. That's just how I look at it. Like, half hours are cool, and 15s are fun, and TV sets are fun, and just doing sets are fun. But leaving your mark on comedy doesn't happen to me until you're like putting out like, here's a thing with a title and my whole, here's a meal I have created for you. And so I had we've been working on it for about 2 or 3 years, and thought it was ready to go, and Comedy Central was like, yeah, and Netflix was like, well, we think you're more of a half-hour guy.
Right.
Our hours are going to like people who haven't done comedy in 20 years. So give us a call after you quit. So it was a pretty simple decision. It was more money, more thing, and the only thing that sucked is international. Like the distribution isn't there, and so I feel bad when I get like responses from like fans in other countries who are like, man, I really love your work and I really want to see it and I can't, or I have to download it illegally and I have to be like, yeah, man, do it. What do you have to do? Right. Like, I wanted, trust me, if it was my choice, it would have been an hour on Netflix and everybody could have seen it internationally, but I had to play the position I had, and I wasn't going to let someone tell me that I'm not an hour comedian when I know I am, and I was going to go with whoever supported me, and that was Comedy Central.
That's awesome. What was it like, Bobcat Goldthwait?
Yeah.
Directing.
Amazing. Yeah. Really the best decision I made for the whole thing. Because he's such a, just comedic legend and great director just in general. So, and I had always wanted to work with him. And
was it you sitting in the editing bay with Bobcat and just nice.
Yeah, and it's just really just only choice, first and only choice. I was like, I want Bobcat to make my special, and he was like, he came and watched an hour and was like, oh yeah, I get what you are and I get what this is. And he came up with his whole motif that he called he's like, you're a dark rainbow. You're like you deal with these negative things, but in this very positive way. And I want to show that in the special. We're gonna do a lot of different colors and lights and I think he made it look beautiful. And the best advice he gave me was right before we taped, and he goes like, he's like, I know you're used to like thinking you have to kill and you gotta nail this. He goes, but I want you to remember this isn't a live show. If you fuck up, stop. Stop and start your joke over, and it will work better. And it just all of a sudden this pressure just left. Oh, I don't have to nail it. I can fuck up.
Right.
Which I always tell myself that anyway. You're gonna mess up, relax. And so it really made things great. And so we did the first taping, and he was like, "We got it. We don't even have to do this second show." And then we did the second show, and he was like, "I think we're going to use the second show." And that's what we did. 90% of my special is all just one take from the second show.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. So Melbourne's the first city you're doing, right? In Australia, and then where are you moving to?
Then Perth and
Sydney. Nice. Yeah. And what's the
ooh, teamwork?
Spider-Man. We got it. What's the what are the dates running through?
16th till Saturday, 20th, the 20th, I'll be in Melbourne, and then I'm going to Perth on the days that he said I have forgotten already.
The 24th. 24th.
No. FrontierComedy.com.
There it is. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Ron. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. You guys, obviously you know a lot about comedy, and you're just sweet gentlemen, so I really appreciate it. I love talking to people who are those things.
I really appreciate it. Quick side question before, obviously you lost a lot of weight and stuff like that, and you avid weed smoker, but what did you go from, say, what was your original Munchie setup?
Okay.
And then now what have you changed to now in your Munchie setup?
Oh, so much change.
Yeah?
Like, especially weekly. Like, it used to be a Sunday. Like, I thought I liked football. I thought I liked American football. And I found out that I did not. I just liked getting faded and eating chicken wings and falling asleep at 2. And so that was used to be. It used to be a cheat meal like Philly cheesesteak. I remember the things were changing, and a girlfriend was going out because she was like, you used to have these jars of Sour Patch Kids and peanut M&Ms, and now they're full of brown rice. Wow, it's horrible. And so now, if I'm munching on something, it's usually like these sugar-free gummies called Smart Sweets that are pretty cool, or just turkey. Like I'll take some deli meat turkey and some sriracha or some Grey Poupon.
Wow. Oh, that sounds fancy. What is that?
So I wouldn't even know how to spell it. Like, if I had to look it up, it'd be...
It sounds like it has a French accent.
If you say it the way I say it, people are like, ooh. So it's a lot, just changed from a lot of candy, a lot of 7-Eleven trips, and now it's a lot of apples and almond butter.
Okay.
Oh, that is a fun treat. Cut up some apples. Cut up an apple. Pour some cinnamon on it, and then a little bit of almond butter.
Oh, wow.
And if you fade it, trust me, you'll be like, "It's pretty good." And that's also one of the jokes I do with my girlfriend now is that I'll eat a healthy snack and then I'll go, cheeseburger. Just trick yourself.
Yeah, just keep lying to yourself.
Well, we'll try those munchy tips
can't
right
wait.
after this. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, thank you so much again for coming on, Ron. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
And you can get tickets at frontiercomedy.com.
Yeah.
Right on.
I recommend it.
You listen to Laugh Out Proud. Z&G. On Joy 94.9.
A diverse sound for a diverse crowd. Joy 94.9.